All right, we are live. Hey, you guys, they are in the chat, ready to chat it up, Bree.
Hey everybody, happy Friday.
Yes, we finally got to the end of this week. We're about to head right into October as of Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday is the first.
Yes. This year is almost up and out.
Real quick. I
Oh
mean, it looked
wow.
like we was just talking about February sweeps, May sweeps.
I
Hey,
was about to
Jay,
say.
Hey y'all,
how are
There we
you?
go.
I'm good. I'm good. How are y'all?
We're
Good.
good. We're good. We haven't started yet. I was just doing the initial conversation. We was just talking about how this year is flying by.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Yep, yep, yep. So, let me go ahead. Welcome you guys to Soap Corner Talk. This is our weekly chat every Friday night, 7:30 Central Time. 7:30. 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And tonight I got Bree and I got J Money on the line. And we're going to discuss the Young and the Restless and the Bold and the Beautiful for the week of September 23rd through the 27th. And I say on Young and the Restless is mostly about Sharon, and then Bold and the Beautiful, it didn't get good until the Friday episode.
If you call what happened was good, I guess we'll do that.
Oh Lord, Bree.
Amen.
I think me and Jay, we did you enjoy today's episode, Bold?
Yes, I did. Your thoughts on it earlier on the live you did. I agree with those thoughts completely. Today's episode was saved. It saved the week, in my opinion, for Bold, and but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we're going to do is discuss the Young and the Restless in the first half of the show, the Bold and the Beautiful in the second half of the show. And then we have four segments: Flip the Script, Who's Taking Several Seats, our Star of the Week, and our Pickle of the Week. And then we have a few other things to discuss with you guys at the end of the show. Okay? All right, so how many people in the chat, Bree?
Let's see. We got 62. Woo! 62. That was quick.
Yeah. Well, some of them are already in here. Because I put, I scheduled the show ahead of time so that it allows them to jump on and have conversation before I go live. So they had a head start.
I see that. Well, please hit the like button, guys. If you love the show.
Yeah.
We love our sweeties.
They are really excited to talk Bold, and you can see it in the comments already. So it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, you know what? And even on the midday chat I did in today's episode, I think I only spent 5 minutes on the Young and the Restless.
I saw that.
And the other 35 minutes, because I think that video was like 40 minutes, and the other 35 minutes was all about Bold. So, all right. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and knock out the Young and the Restless. And I'm going to give a summary, and then we'll break down the storyline. So, for Y&R, for the week of the 23rd of September through the 27th of September, Audra urges Sally to have revenge sex, and all hell breaks loose between Billy and Adam. Sharon puts her plan to take out Daniel in motion, and Adam tries to help a very distraught Faith. Sharon comes face to face with Heather, and Phyllis celebrates a big win. Sharon's revenge plan takes a deadly turn, and Sharon turns to Cassie for help and takes a painful yet inspiring walk down memory lane. So, you know what, we might as well get the whole Adam and Phyllis and Sally thing out the way, because the rest of it is all about Sharon.
Pretty much.
So what did you...
It's like I'm going to get my Emmy reel together.
Yeah, I know, right? What did y'all think? And I know you probably said a few things on Wednesday, Bree, about that fight at Society between Billy and Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, you want to kick off?
Yeah, I actually liked the week Adam had as a whole. I really liked the confrontation
Mm-hmm.
between him and Billy because so many times we see Adam getting the bad end of things when it comes to like most of the confrontations. Like verbally, he can joust with the best of them, and he'll always get stingers in that way. But he usually is the one that ends up getting punched or shoved or something like that. It was actually nice to actually see him get the jump on someone for a chance and just sock Billy right in the face. So I actually enjoyed that. And I know you don't want to see Adam and Chelsea back together, but I kind of like the approach he had where he was just straightforward with her and told her what he was thinking. So, and then the moment he had later on in the week with Faith. So we kind of saw three different sides of Adam. So I actually did enjoy the week that we got from him. And I did love the confrontation between him and Billy.
Yeah, I mean, Adam knocked him clear across that restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
That was hilarious. Did you want to add on to something on that, Bree?
Um, Only thing I disagree with, Jay, is I do not want to see Adam and Chelsea together. And like, even like when we did the trivia, like it brought up so many different memories on how they both are just incredibly toxic to one another. And I just would like for them to have a good parenting relationship. I want to see him with someone completely different. He like, I agree with T. I want him with Audra. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for Audra. But and what I was saying on Wednesday, the fact that they looped him into this Sharon storyline, even to a small degree, I think he's going to end up back with this woman, or fighting with his brother over this woman, or help this woman out for whatever reason. So I just don't want him to be with Sharon. I really don't want him to be with any of these erratic women, to be honest. I would love for it to be just a 304 and just give us some hot love scene and keep it pushing.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
And then we also had, when Billy got back to the office and Phyllis talked him down, which I'm loving the working relationship between Phyllis and Billy. Victoria shows up trying to throw cash at him to sell the company so that dear old dad don't destroy him. What y'all thought about that?
Yeah, I did not like Victoria's whole approach with that. I didn't like, and I didn't appreciate, because the way she was coming at Billy, she was putting all the onus on him.
Mm-hmm.
Where no matter what Billy has been doing with the company, you can disagree or agree with what he's been doing with the company and how he's treated Lily and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, Billy has not been targeting or going after or even worrying about Victor. All of this is on Victor because he wants what he wants, and it's an extra perk and an added bonus that he gets to try to take Billy down to get what he wants. But the way Victoria was coming at him, almost putting the blame on this potential war on him when he has nothing to do with Victor right now, and it's all Victor, that was really ticking me off. Like, she needed to be telling all of that to Victor, because Victor is the one that's really hunting Billy down right now. And she was making it seem like, oh, if you don't put an end to this, he even told her himself, this is all on your father's part. Like, Billy's not going after Victor, and she just looked like the same spoiled little daughter who doesn't want to tell her father the real truth, and she wanted to pay Billy off to end the issues and then tried to bring the kids into it. Like, I just didn't like how she approached it at all.
Mm-hmm. What about you,
Bri? I agree. It's the assumption that Billy was going to lose to her father, like that level of entitlement. And she's like, look, why don't I just buy you out, because my dad's going to win anyway, at least get something out of it. It's just like the nerve. And the thing is, you would think that if she wants to keep peace within the family, she should be more focused on talking her father down, because the animosity is not coming from Billy. Billy's on a defense mode. The animosity is coming from Victor because he's so desperate to keep Nikki over there in over on Chancellor and not worry about new media. That's it. And Victoria was all for getting her mother in that seat. And I remember that scene in the office, and she was like, look, it's just business. My kids are Newmans. They'll understand, and Billy will understand. And now you having second thoughts and want to buy him out, and you know what your dad's end goal is from start to finish. Like, why don't you just go ahead and just tell Billy? Like, he's asking you point blank, like, why all of a sudden is he coming after me? And she knows the answer, but wants to make him look like he is causing all these issues. And he wasn't.
Yeah, I just think she know that barking up Victor's tree is not going to work. And she's trying to pick the lowest hanging fruit that she can actually think she's going to be able to reach. And she thought that was Billy. She knew her father was not going to listen to anything that she had to say. So what did she do? Well, let's see. Which one is the easier target that I can actually influence? Victor or Billy? And she said, well, let me run over here and make Billy feel some kind of way that maybe he'll back off. Throw him a ton of cash and he'll just walk. And then that'll save face with everybody. Because she was like, I want to do what's best for everybody. No, you want to do what's best for you and your father.
Right.
Not Billy.
Well, actually, for her mother.
Yeah, that family. And so, the thing is, that doesn't do anything for Billy. Billy, like, because she said, take this money and start your own company. I think Phyllis was testing him by saying that. But like Billy said, you mean tell me I'm going to have a big, huge company with a new startup? No. Startup companies take a while to scale and really get the notoriety, whereas Chancellor has been out there for decades. So,
exactly.
Yeah, so she thought that she was being slick, going behind her father's back, trying to make a deal so she can, and if Billy had said, okay, sure, I'll take the money, then she'll be smiling from ear to ear, telling Victor, hey, we got the company. But there's one problem, because the meeting that Victoria had in the week of the 16th, Victoria, he had said, why do we need to throw out millions of dollars just to get him out of there? He wanted to eat. He figured, I want to get Billy out, and I'm not going to pay a cent to do it. You know,
and I can see that. I don't understand what her end goal was. Like, she knows her father, and she knows Billy. I don't understand, like, how throwing money, because the thing is, Billy could easily take the money. That's perfectly fine, but you're okay with your father going after the father of your children. And yeah, forget which one of you guys said that, low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
So she really views the father of her children as low-hanging fruit. That is so insane to me.
Yep. But he said, no, this ain't about no money. Keep your cash. I'm going to do what I got to do. And honestly, like Jay said, don't treat me as if I'm the problem. I'm over here minding my business. My mom handed me the power. Yes, me and Lily had issues. She's out. Chance quit. Okay, fine. But I'm not messing with Victor. Victor's messing with me. So, yeah, she need to go ahead somewhere and take several seats, which she will take one later.
Ooh, I can't wait. She really needs one.
All right. We also had that conversation in the park between Audra and Sally. What you thought about that conversation, Jay?
I mean, it was a nice little fun friend bonding kind of conversation, I guess. I didn't like Audra suggesting that Sally go have
Revenge.
revenge, with Billy, but that's kind of Audra's personality. So I know Bree definitely doesn't expect anything less of her. So,
Adam.
but yeah, so it was nice to see that Sally did have a friend that she can talk to. But it's interesting because T, if you get what you want, if they do want to lead towards an Adam and Audra kind of situation at some point, then all of these moments that they share together, that's definitely going to be brought up when the eventual fight happens between them. So seeing, especially when Audra talks to her about anything dealing with Adam, I always watch that with an extra little interest, just in case they do go that route, because the potential to go there, like you said, it is there if they did want to pair him up with her.
Mm-hmm.
And that would bring more drama and that kind of stuff. So it was a nice little moment, nothing like too special or anything, but it was a nice little moment between them.
Yeah. What you got, Bree?
Oh, I agree with that. I look at her with several eyes, because you cannot. I don't understand why Sally is taking advice from this woman. And Jasmine Williams, you said it correctly. A Tempur-Pedic giving bad advice. 100% correct. That is pinpoint accuracy. Like, that's her go-to. Not, why don't you focus on your work, or why don't you go spend time with your family, your loved ones, actually be a girlfriend to Sally. But no, you are telling her to spread her legs, because that's all she knows how to do herself. Like a walk-in closet. And just think that that's going to be the solution. Not everything has to be about revenge. But I think the only thing that got on my nerves was the fact that she said that she outsmarted Tucker. She is still running with this narrative.
Mm-hmm.
While working for Victor.
Gotta fake it till you make it, I guess.
Look, you can only fake it for so long.
Yeah, okay. She's lying to herself. She jumped out of the frying pan right into the fire with Victor. I mean, all she did was decided to ask Victor, throw me some money so I can buy the company and take it from Tucker, when she could have got it for free and owned it herself.
For real.
You screwed yourself. And you got to answer to Victor.
Exactly. And then she has to watch her back with Kyle. And, I need to get him out so I can run the company. Girl, you could have been and had this company. But you want to run with a narrative that you outsmarted this man who collected a check from Victor.
Thank you. So he didn't walk away empty-handed. Because Tucker would have lost more by just handing her the company, because Audra wouldn't have had to pay him anything. He was just going to give it to her. But now, Tucker walked away with a treasure trove of cash. And what did you get? To be under Victor Newman's thumb. And technically, if Victor said, you know what, I want Claire, my granddaughter, to run Glissade with Kyle, she would be out.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing, she's not family, there's nothing guaranteed. Like, she's already, trying to walk on eggshells after Kyle already let him know, look, she already told Nate. Mm-hmm. And Victor's already look, I can't trust you. So she has to earn the trust from the man that she went to, thinking she's outsmarting the man who was about to hand her 100% of the company to her to run by herself.
Yep. And if she don't watch it, both her and Lily are going to be standing in the unemployment line together.
Yeah. Yeah, they should. I can't wait for Lily to fall on her face.
Girl, well, there's a spoiler next Thursday, I think, where her and Victor are going to conspire together. To do what? Come after Billy? I wonder how Nikki feels about all of this. Because
we know how Nikki feels. She was playing Lily too.
Well, the problem is that Nikki don't know that Victor told Lily, even though he was lying to her, that he was going to make her CEO of Chancellor. So Victor's still keeping that secret from her too.
My goodness, that's well.
But that's what you get for signing up under Victor. Nate tried to warn Audra. Nate also tried to warn Lily. And they both think that I'm grown. I can do what I want to do. Y'all don't trust my abilities. Y'all think that I just don't know no better. You don't.
Well, she didn't sign nothing, and that's something that was to Nate wanted to point that out. Did you get anything in writing? So she's going to continue to commit corporate espionage for Victor without any guarantee. A fool.
And she could go to jail for it. At least Audra, if she get the boot, she can just go and lick her wounds and maybe figure out another target. But Lily...
And collect her severance.
And collect her severance. Lily walked away from her severance over at Chancellor just to get in collusion with Victor, who is about to put her out to pasture.
Exactly. So she gonna fall a little bit harder than Audra. Audra at least got a sense her name is on a contract.
Right.
Signed.
Did you have anything else on that, Jay?
Yeah, just after what Jasmine Williams said and Bree added to it when y'all was saying that. Well, Jasmine said that all of her activities are like Tempur-Pedic activities, and Bree, you're right. Like, because if you're somebody's best friend, you would think she would say, "Hey, let's go. Let's go hang out at my place. We'll eat ice cream." That's what like best friends do, right? When a friend goes through a breakup, they hang out, they eat ice cream, they gossip and stuff like that. But her first piece of advice was to go have relations with Billy for revenge. So yeah, like that just made me think of what kind of friend is Audra really to her.
Yeah.
Same type of friend she was to Elena.
Ooh. Yep.
It's the same script, different cast.
Yep.
You hit that one on the nail, both you guys. I mean, ooh, Lord. Boy. And Sally, I mean, obviously her and Billy is supposed to have some type of conversation or whatever the end of next week. And I'm like, that was predictable. I mean, it looked like they were going to try to put them two together, especially when Billy was making all those statements about she's too good for Adam and, all these little compliments. I'm like, here we go. So, I don't know. They might go down that road. I just don't want him to be back with Phyllis. Just let them work together.
Right. Mm-hmm. Writers, do not, I'm going to keep saying this probably every week, do not put them as a couple together. We like Phyllis as she is. Let her be focused on being a business tycoon and corporate like takeovers. Like that is her lane, and giving Billy his advice, like that is a perfect match made in heaven right there. I wasn't sure how he was going to really mesh with Michelle since Gina left, but Jason and Michelle have great chemistry. Business chemistry.
Absolutely. All right, we gotta take on Sharon
because her therapist won't.
Yeah, we gotta take on Sharon. So it was an interesting. I would say it started with like Tuesday, because the whole thing with Adam and all of that was on Monday, right?
Right.
So as we go into Tuesday, we see her putting together this idea, this poison, because that poison that she was finding, that she didn't know where it came from, even though obviously she got it from somewhere. This was part of
Jordan's supplier.
Yeah, her, Jordan, and Lunatic Luna went to the same dealer. Obviously they got all types of substances. Powdery ones, liquid ones you slip in water, and everything else. Anyway, so she goes over to the house, goes through this whole back and forth because obviously Cameron Kirsten is in her head. But she go through this back and forth inside the apartment that she breaks into. And then decide, you know what? I'm going to put the poison in the alcohol, the whiskey. And then I'm going, I changed my mind. I'm going to pour it out and I'm going to leave. But in the meantime, I'm going to argue with Cameron Kirsten. Look at pictures of people's families. Break some glass. And then, you know what? It's time for me to leave. And of course, she runs into Heather. What did you think about that whole scene that just dragged out Tuesday and Wednesday where she was going back and forth with herself? Jay, what you got?
You know what? It's funny because the material in itself that they've been doing with her, like we've said multiple times, we're kind of tired of it. We're kind of tired of the doom and gloom type of situations. So we may be a bit tired of the situation she may be in, but Sharon Case's acting has been really incredible during this. To be honest with you, like, they're really lucky that she is such a spectacular actress because she's saving them. Because a lot of people, and maybe some still have, but a lot of people will tune this out because it's like, it seems like every time you turn around, every story arc with her is like, what drama and depression can we put Sharon through this time? Like, she's lost her husband not too long ago. Now she's going through this, or even before this, the whole situation with Cameron coming back and kidnapping her daughter. She had to go through that. Now she's going through this, and it's like, my goodness, what more can this woman go through? So it was a great performance by her, of course, but it's getting to the point now, especially with that episode and then what she ended up doing later in the week, which I know you'll lead to, but it was like starting to get icky for me to like just, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of it is just like, God, this is really unnecessary. Did they really have to go this route? But so for me, I'm kind of tired of the doom and gloom, and maybe now that this has happened, we'll get some kind of resolution to it. But I do believe that Sharon Case has been just doing an amazing job with the work that she's been given. Like, I'm really impressed by the acting she's been doing during all of this.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Sharon Case is acting her butt off on this one. Obviously, what was that? Thursday's episode was her Emmy reel, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yep. What you got, Bree?
I agree with LaShanta's staff. She said she needs an Emmy award. Well, she put together nothing but Emmy reel material this whole week. They dedicated this whole Emmy reel episodes to Sharon from start to finish, it feels like. And she's been acting her tail off. It really is incredible. And I agree with you, Jay. Like, we were all tired of doom and gloom. We were all tired of Cameron Kirsten's shirt, which will not go away on Monday's episode.
Which this thing seems to be getting bigger the longer you get.
I know. But this was absolutely incredible. I was looking at this woman crazy when she was like, when she was at the hotel and then she was hearing sounds coming from the bathroom, and then she's like, oh my God, like, this is real life. Someone's really at my bathroom. I'm not in my head. And once again, she's in her head. She's looking around and is like, oh, where did this poison come from? The fact that this woman was bold, this is bold to break into somebody's house thinking you're not going to get caught. Because she did this in the middle of the day, it seemed like. Broke into the house. She was. I really thought it was going to be Daniel or Lucy. I was surprised by the result. But the fact that she was clumsy, breaking things, having a change of heart, doing this, doing that, and then when Heather walks into her own house, she wants to act surprised and then put the whole blame on Heather. That interaction on Thursday was something else. But the acting, I'll give both ladies the their flowers for their acting. But Sharon Case, 100%. This was absolutely incredible. This was suspenseful. I was not expecting it to go this direction. I knew somebody was going to get unalive. I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was not expecting it to go this direction. But after Monday's episode, I don't think she's done.
Yeah, I don't think she's done either. I know what I saw it earlier. I didn't get a chance to respond to you, but I did see the episode earlier this evening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, run that back, Bree. You don't think who's done?
Sharon's
not done.
Oh boy.
You gotta, go check out that Monday's episode. It's, and I know everyone was, some people were thinking like this is a dream. This was definitely not a dream. She did all this.
Yep.
she did it. She went through with all this.
What'd you say, Jay?
But
sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Were you about to say something, Jay?
Oh no.
Okay, go ahead, Bree.
But back to the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that whole Sharon thing.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it again with the interaction between Sharon and Heather, and I'm still mad at the fact, why did you not just... She called Daniel, but she should have let that phone keep ringing until that man answered so he could hear that whole conversation.
Right. I agree.
Like, she had the phone in her hand, just like every type of horror movie. Like, they forever want to lose the phones. The phone slips out the hand. It was right there. You called, you dialed. She heard it. She should have said whatever, and then had Sharon leave, because Sharon would have ran. Mm-hmm. Sharon would have ran. But like you were saying, T, she's trying to reason with crazy, and crazy usually outdoes it. This is why Sheila's been on for 30-something years.
Well, this is kind of what I was saying on Wednesday. When Heather decided to go back and forth with this woman, I'm going to protect my house and all of this. She clearly can look at Sharon and tell that she is not in her right mind, that she's unhinged. And you're arguing and confronting crazy. And especially when Sharon was screaming at the top of her lungs at her. And I'm like, I think maybe you need to let her walk. And then start calling people. But no, you want to pull a Steffy Forrester in the alley. And confront crazy. And look where you end up, at the bottom of a river.
That's what TA just said. Y'all thinking alike. She said Heather was trying to be like Steffy.
That's what I mean. And Steffy got hit twice. She got pew-pewed in the alley, and then Lunatic Luna got a hold to her and put her in a cage.
The only problem with that, TA, is Heather's not a legacy character like Steffy is, so she can't be taking the same risk.
Exactly.
That Steffy took. And I didn't get that either, because all I could think of when I was watching it go down between Sharon and Heather was, why wouldn't you just act, play along to get along?
Right.
Just tell her, everything's fine. Go ahead and leave. I won't call Nick. Just make sure you get home and all that stuff. And then as soon as she leaves, that's when you could have called the cops and Nick and Daniel. Like, get her out of your house first, secure your safety first, and then call the people. She's sitting there telling her what she's going to do and making the woman even more frantic. And, so that writing to me didn't make any sense. I guess you can always blame it on heat of the moment and you're not thinking clearly. But my first thought was, just get her out of your house first, your apartment first, and then call the correct people after you've gotten her out of there.
Right.
You know what gets me, Jay? Heather's was a prosecutor. Mm-hmm. She's used to dealing with different types of people, so she knows how to keep everything under control. She had it under control for a while, and she had in the beginning when she was like, "What are you doing in my house? Why did I know you're lying to me? I know you broke in. You're gonna eventually deal with the police or something to that degree." She had the control. She even had the control with the phone in her hand. But I think either fear or something got into her. But Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me. Like, you had the phone in your hand. She already broke into your house.
Yeah,
And there was every reason to call the police or keep Daniel on the phone.
it was ego, because when you see, and Steffi said the same thing, I'm in control here, when she was telling Sheila that. And then she was like, I'm protecting my house. Girl, this woman is unhinged. You don't fight crazy if you're not crazy enough to go to that level. You know what I'm saying? So it's this ego thing of like, you're not going to get the best of me. And for both ladies that we're talking about, it did not work in their favor. Just like Steffi had the opportunity to let Sheila leave 4 times, also Sharon tried to walk out of that house twice. And Heather stopped her. So she would have did better. She probably would have still been alive if she just let crazy walk out the door. And not calling somebody with bipolar crazy, but her behavior was very erratic.
Absolutely. She walked in with the intent to unalive somebody.
Yep.
By putting poison in that liquor thing, the bottle of gin.
Yep.
She had intent. So, like, and LaShanta makes a very good point, because I saw some comments online. She said, I don't want to hear Phyllis unalive Jeremy Stark and move the body. That was self-defense. Sharon had intent. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And after Monday's episode, she ain't gonna stop. So I can't even, like, she's cold-blooded at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I did want to ask you two something. Now, Bree, you're kind of answering it by these hints you're giving about Monday's episode. But what I wanted to ask was, do you guys think, because after I saw what she did, another thing that I thought, one of the other thoughts I had was, how in the world is she going to get out of this? Because when you look at her track record and all the things she's, done before, and she's actually had to, serve time before, how in the world, even if you think of, okay, the insanity plea and all that stuff, I just don't see any way she can get out of it unless they write it, that way. And I wanted to ask, there was a moment when Heather was still alive, and she was waking up and kind of lifting herself up the floor, and then she looked at Sharon, and I think she said, "You're out of your mind." Those was the words that she was like kind of whispering to her. Mm-hmm. And then we saw, now I only saw this in clips, so tell me if I'm missing something. And then the next thing I saw was Sharon was waking up after, like, she had blacked out and was laying on the couch. Mm-hmm. So is that how it actually happened on the full episode? And then if it is, I'm thinking, are they going to give us some kind of cockamamie excuse that maybe they struggled once again after that, and Heather slipped on her own and hit her own head, and then that's how Sharon gets off? Like, because I'm wondering, they must gonna do something with that time between the blacking out and her waking back up again. Like, I'm thinking that's gonna be one of the only ways they could potentially get her from not save her from serving a long time. Because other than that, I don't know how she could get away with it.
All I can say, Jay, is Cameron confirms that it was Sharon. So
well, we can't trust Cameron, though, because that's all in her head. You know what I mean?
She could be making an assumption, right? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. That she did it? Okay.
In flashbacks, I'm thinking we're going to get that moment. At least that's what I'm thinking. We're going to get that moment that we didn't see between her blacking out and waking up.
That's what I was. I think we were talking about this on Wednesday, T. But check out Monday's episode. The way she's gone about it, it just wasn't. For me, wasn't remorseful. Like, she had like a couple of moments of remorse, but she was trying to cover her tracks. But whether she listens to Cameron or not, this is still her actions. And Cameron, for me, he confirmed that she unalive Heather.
Yeah. So, yeah, and she's going to be doing it. Part of the spoilers for next week is that Sharon is covering her tracks and keeping up
Mm-hmm.
appearances.
Yeah,
So,
it disgusts me. I have a theory, but I'm gonna wait till next week. Especially that towards the end, with Cameron had told her she's not done, and it makes me wonder if there's like if she's. I'm just gonna stop right there, but I want to point something out that I just saw. Let me point out the comment. Someone has said no, no ADT, no simply slave. That's what I'm saying. Thank you, Delmonica. Like Heather is the daughter of the who used to be the former chief of police. Yeah, no cameras in this house. Nothing.
well, that's not just one part of it. After everything has happened, now the cleanup and the cover up begins. So she wrapped her up in a blanket. She got rid of the
Mm-hmm.
broken glass. At first, she tried to drag her out of there, and it was a blood trail. She had to clean up the blood trail, turn around, get the garbage with the glass in it, pack a bag, get her phone. There is 2 drops of blood that was left behind, which I obviously think is going to come back to bite her in the behind. And then she dragged the lady down the stairs. Where are the cameras? She dragged her outside in the back of the building, put her in the car. Where are the cameras?
Yeah, I agree. And I was reading some comments online. It said there was like blood on the bottom of Karen's pants too. I
I didn't
missed
see
that.
that. Yeah, I didn't see that.
Well, her outfit was kind of what, brownish, olive-ish, so it would make sense if you don't spot that right off the bat
Yeah,
because blood is dark on it, especially on those type of colors. But what I was thinking about as well is this really should be open and shut because when she was cleaning up the blood, I didn't see no bleach. You know what I mean? She just grabbed like a couple of towels and was going over the same blood. You need to expect. We supposed to believe them floors was that clean when she didn't use any kind of solvent or bleach or nothing. So they should be able to get the traces of blood throughout that apartment.
Hey, Jay. The other thing is, which somebody brought up on Wednesday, is this substance called luminol. And I know if you watch SVU or the other Law and Order shows, in order to find cleaned up blood splatter on walls and floors, they spray the room with luminol and then use a special light. And if there's
Yep.
blood splatters, it shows up everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if Young and the Restless writers are going to take it that far, but if they were to, they would see what happened in that room.
yeah. I honestly feel I'm wondering if someone's going to use Sharon's car or had a need to go to Sharon's car. Because unless that woman gets that car detailed, there's going to be some form of clue left in her car, and it's going to lead, breadcrumbs back to Heather and what happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you, Jay. Like, there's no way. How could that be squeaky clean? And there's no smell. There's no like. They're going to trace back the footprints, everything. The fact that there's stuff that was missing.
Yeah, Daniel didn't notice any scent when he came in that house.
Well, I just don't think that the writers are taking it that far. That's the thing.
Yeah, they don't take that into consideration. I say that tongue in cheek just because soap logic, and they don't really take those type of things into consideration.
Right. So I just think what's really going to probably give any type of clue is the 2 blood droplets that's left behind. Because they're going to be like, what is that? Is that blood? You know what I mean? Even though clearly it didn't look like she came home, but of course she was there.
And also that gin bottle was missing. And they gave us a clue in the beginning of this week about that gin. That's Daniel's gin. If he sees that that's missing, I think that might be like a clear indicator for him that something's kind of off. And the fact that there was stuff that's kind of missing in his own home.
Mm-hmm.
I think like there's no way that Sharon's going to be able to like cover her tracks. That's why I feel she's not done yet.
And Belinda Hill asked a good question. She said, "What happened to the overnight bag with the bloody towels? Is it still in Sharon's car? Because we didn't see, at least I didn't see her throw that over the bridge. We saw her throw the body over the bridge, but I didn't see her do anything with the overnight bag."
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know what that bag is. I do know that she still got that phone, which is stupid. And it's on. And it's on, right. Bree. The phone is on. And if Daniel, I don't know, I know like with me and my kids, we have each other locations on.
Yeah.
But if Daniel do some research and say, well, let me check her location, it'll show that phone is right over there at that ranch.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. Because in the teaser, they showed him reading like a text, right? And they made it, from what I gathered from that teaser, the thing that I assumed was, okay, Sharon must have wrote him as Heather, telling him she wasn't coming home.
Right, that's on Monday's episode.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you gotta watch this, Jay. If you guys are able to watch the Monday episode, please watch that. It's very telling.
Yeah, she ain't done. Mm-mm.
Nope.
Then it takes us to, and this was really crazy, the end of Thursday's episode, where she drove over to that bridge at night and just disposed. I'll use that word because that's the word I used on my title of yesterday's video. Disposed of Heather's body into the bottom of that river.
Or she thinks it's the bottom, but that thing it's going to float. Like someone's going to see that. Because there was nothing to sink Heather. So, like, if there's people who's like, there's fishermen, there's people who go, whatever the people use the river for, or whatever, they're going to find her.
Normally, people that are found years and years and years later are not in a river. They're usually in dense forest area because nobody goes back there. Whereas water, you have boats traveling, you have, even if she washed up on the shore, on the riverbank, cars driving by could be like, wait, what is that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
exactly.
She obviously didn't think this through, and I'm not condoning any of this. We're just talking soap drama here, you guys.
Yeah, it's just a storyline.
Just a storyline. But if Sharon really wanted to not have her found, probably her best bet was to take her into a dense forest area where nobody goes. No homes back there, no nothing.
I mean, Sheila always had the right idea. I'm use Sheila for example, because she made it seem like a bear attacked her.
Exactly.
Like just fine details, but the fact that this is why I know for sure she definitely did this. Like just the thought process just wasn't clear enough. The fact that she went to all this great lengths and she's calling herself covering the tracks, but what if Heather shows up and like a fisherman or like someone on the boat were to see it, or it washes up and she hits a rock and she's on a rock. I don't know. It's very careless, but at the same time, this is Sharon. This is just gonna be so messy for her. I cannot see her getting out of this.
Yeah, by Wednesday or Thursday, Daniel is supposed to get some bad news. and I'm assuming
Yeah.
that it's Heather's popped up somewhere.
Yep. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so sad. And plus, Christine is coming back.
Yep.
Oh, we know it's an investigation coming.
Right. Exactly. What'd you think about that disposing, Jay?
Um, I mean, the thing, what I mentioned earlier, the thing that I thought about before was like the whole cleaning of the scene. I know I gotta separate like real life logic from a soap logic because that was like on my mind so much. Like she didn't even use any bleach. Like I couldn't get over that. Like this should be open and shut. But I mean, I guess in theory she did a good job, right? Like she said she got all the glass. Cameron even gave her props, which is crazy to think because this is really just her mind talking to herself. Cameron even gave her props for going back and getting the overnight bag and the phone. Like job well done. And I do want to say the interaction he deserves. Lyndon Ashby absolutely deserves. Don't they also have like
Guess.
awards for like best guest or something like that?
Yes.
He
Mm-hmm.
better get a nomination because he has been funny. He has been just really entertaining in this version of his character. Like the little banter that they have back and forth, including in really dire, serious moments. Like even after she did this, they had a couple of moments where he takes a second and like they take a second to bicker at each other. And it was really funny to be honest with you. But yeah, so I mean, I guess she did a good enough job, and she has experience doing this, which is something he actually mentioned to her at the apartment. That you kind of have experience doing this before when you thought you unalived me. So I guess she did a good enough job, but like Bree said, it just really feels like she's gonna get caught. Like I don't think anybody. Maybe people can tell us in the chat. I don't feel like anybody feels like she's gonna get away with it, right? Like the body's gonna be found, and I feel like it's gonna be found fairly quickly.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I believe that spoiler for October 2nd and 3rd, where Daniel gets that devastating news. That's probably what it's about. So that is pretty quick.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's, oh my goodness. I feel so bad for Paul. Like, all he has is one child left, and that's Dylan.
Yeah,
And I
that's.
will say this too.
Hmm.
Um, with Heather being gone now, if they don't take this opportunity to bring Daisy in here to come
I
claim her
know.
daughter, and I would. That's something that's been on my mind too. I'm like, I hate to see that Heather's gone, but that was something that popped in my mind. Like, I would love to see Daisy come out of nowhere. Not maybe right away, like maybe a little bit after everything gets settled. But I do want to see Daisy come back to see her daughter and maybe even cause some havoc in Genoa City.
As long as they don't put Lily back with Daniel after all of this and her helping him grieve or
Oh,
something.
you thought about that?
I mean, knowing that anything is possible because the reason that they
Mm-hmm.
broke up was because of Heather. Heather's now out of the equation. And of course,
Yeah.
Daniel is going to be suffering. And outside of his family, maybe the only other person that might have some compassion for him is Lily.
I
Yeah.
wasn't thinking
Yeah.
that. I was actually thinking Tessa, because Daniel and Tessa have been Kim tested quite a bit. And he could be looking to her as like a friend, and then it turns into something else.
I mean, that's possible. I'm just saying, as long as they don't put them two back together, I'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Lily needs to just worry about finding a job before a man, because anytime she gets a man, it's never been successful. So she needs to
No,
just focus on staying out of jail for corporate espionage first.
right.
Yeah.
And
But see,
then,
I can see why your mind went there because you can very easily see that, right? Her comforting him, saying, I was upset with what you did, but I never wanted to see anything like this happen. And then she's there for him, and then they can easily write them back together. So I can understand why your mind would even think of
right,
hoping that doesn't happen.
right. And then that takes us to Friday episode where we celebrate the 30 years of Sharon Case, her anniversary. She actually hit her anniversary on September 14th, because she took on the role September 14th of 1994. And so, yeah, it hit 30 years about 2 weeks ago, but they aired the episode obviously today. So, congrats to Sharon. 30 years. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had sent something in a group chat. I think, yeah, it was Michelle, Sharon, and Joshua Morrow. They were talking about like their 30 years just in general because they basically it all came up around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But the clips, I remember those clips. I was like, oh my goodness, Nikki has some good wigs, some cute little spiky little sporty wigs on.
Everybody looks so different over the years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, yes.
So
Sharon has had some incredible storylines. She's a talented actress.
yep. And at the end of today's episode, she sashayed back into the ranch and tried to get his whole speech about how I'm good, y'all. I'm home. I had to, I had to confess, and then left us with that cliffhanger for next week. So, but yeah, obviously we'll see in 2025 if she gets an Emmy nomination for this whole thing for this year. I will say it will probably be a tight category because Eileen should be in that category and Melody should be in that category.
Right. Oh my goodness.
And that
Eileen wouldn't be up for this year, T?
Say it again.
Eileen wouldn't be up for this year?
I did say that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said Eileen, Melody, and of course Sharon Case.
Because me and Bree were talking about it, and we thought because of the timing, all of this stuff now, Sharon would have to be nominated for next year for best lead.
Well,
yeah, T corrected me.
Yeah, because the season officially starts October. What is this? The 4th, the 6th. So season 52 starts October 6th. So,
and I was wrong. Yeah, because I was reading online on 2 different sites. It said the new season of YNR starts September 24th. I was like, oh, okay.
But the deadline date to put in your reels, that doesn't necessarily coincide with a new season starting, right? Isn't there like already a deadline date set for this year's awards?
No, that I'm not sure about. So we have to look that up. But whatever it is, whether it's 25 or 26, Sharon definitely should get an Emmy nod.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep. So, yeah, Monique said wouldn't be surprised if she calls Adam to help her. That brings into what you were saying, Bree.
Yep. That's how she's gonna get out. If there's any way for her to get out of it, Adam's gonna help her, Jay.
See, and I don't know if I want to see that, Bree, because why do they always have to call Adam in when it's like something murky or dirty, and then he gets the one, he's the one that ends up being left holding the bag, right? Like, everybody blames him. So I low-key don't even want to see that. Let Nick be her savior.
This is why I feel they both are like, they had a good brother relationship while it lasts, but I think it's going to come to an end when they both are trying to play hero to Sharon, to be honest. Otherwise, why would they ever have looped him into that conversation with Faith? And like it just, he would have stayed completely out of it. Same way they let him be completely out of the whole Jordan situation.
That's a good point. They left him. He had no contact with that whole Jordan situation, but all of a sudden, Faith clues him in about something going on with Sharon.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere along the line, it wouldn't surprise me, like she was saying in the chat, that Adam is somehow brought into this. Because technically, if anybody would know what to do in this situation, besides Phyllis, it would be him.
Phyllis and Victor.
Yeah.
See, with the faith thing, and y'all may very well be correct, but with the faith thing, I really just looked at that as that was a moment they was able to find to sprinkle in having him have a moment with faith because of the whole him giving her the transplant situation. Like I always felt like they would always sprinkle in little moments between him and her when they got the chance, and I just looked at that as one of the opportunities they were able to do it. I didn't see it as it could be, but I didn't look at it as okay, this is like kind of like going to be leading into him eventually helping Sharon because I still think he still has a lot to worry about with his son and now this whole situation with Chelsea. So I don't know. I don't necessarily look at that as them saying or kind of showing that he's gonna eventually be a bigger part of the Sharon storyline. But
Well,
y'all could be right.
well, I guess we'll have to find out. We're about to move on to Bold. How yeah, because we had a whole lot of Sharon this week. Again, kudos to Sharon Case. Hopefully she get a nod, but I think the best episode this week was yesterday. In my
I agree.
opinion. Um okay, so we got 140 people. Nice. Can we get the like count up to 80?
Oh,
Please?
I think we
Only
can do that.
80.
Yeah, that's at least 50% engagement, a little over 50% engagement. I wish we can get it higher, but if we get it over the 50% engagement, it'll hopefully trigger the algorithm.
We're almost there, y'all.
Chat, let me respectfully ask y'all, what is y'all doing? Get in there. It takes half a second, if that. Hit that like button. Show some love. Get this channel in the algorithm. It is not gonna hurt y'all to go in there and hit that like button. Get 100. She talking about 80. Get at least 100 likes in here.
Okay. See, J Money is extra excited about this going to bold, leading up
Mm-hmm.
to bold. I wonder why.
I know, right? I wonder why. I
He's
wonder
extra
why.
excited.
What'd you say? Y'all were talking. What'd
Okay.
you say, Bree? After
So
that.
I wonder why. To be honest, I can't wait to get to bold. I will say, I will agree with you. This episode woke me up comparison to the rest of this week.
I know, right? All right. So make sure that you hit the like button. Also, make sure follow on the other platforms. I've been doing a little bit more uploads on TikTok this week. So check out TikTok, Instagram, Facebook group, and that's been growing very well. I appreciate all the engagement and the conversations in the group. So thank you for keeping that going, you guys. And make sure that you subscribe. I know a lot of people is having issues with notifications because sometimes I'll go live and people come in and be like, I didn't get a notification. Make sure your notifications are turned on so every time there's a video or I go live, YouTube will send you out a little bit of a note. Okay? All right. We
Before you do that, I'm so sorry. Before you do that, Myra D. Florence asked, in regards to the likes and hitting the like button, she asked, can you hit it more than once? You can't because it'll unlike it, but that's a perfect segue to go to bold because that's something Hope's going to be asking Carter quite a lot.
Oh my
Coming up
god!
soon. Can you hit it more than once? So,
Oh
okay. There you
Lord.
go.
And she's undeserving of it.
Oh, here we go. Y'all funny.
Carry on.
Oh gosh. All right. Let me do the summary for bold. Okay, here we go. So, for Bold and the Beautiful, for the week of the 23rd through the 27th, Lee struggles with an unexpected request from Taylor, and Ridge makes Steffy a promise. Finn questions an emotional Lee, and Steffy's conversation with Taylor leave her in tears. Steffy makes her intentions clear with Hope, and Katie makes Will an offer that Bill won't like. Brooke senses something is off with Taylor, and Bill wants Katie back. Carter makes a confession to Hope, and Taylor collapses after seeing Ridge and Brooke. All right. I gotta say, most of the week was boring. A lot of people said it was boring. Up until today's episode. Because, I mean, I guess the first thing that kicks it off is the conversation that, oh, you know what? Hold on. Shoot. I have the wrong thing up there. Give me 1 second. The conversation with Lee and Taylor. And we kind of talked about this a little bit when we were on the trivia this week. We talked about it a little bit, Bree and I, on Wednesday as well, where I understand, because I know me and Bree have a little bit of a variance. We're both similar, but there's a variance to it. And Jay, I'm going to get your thoughts on this as well. I don't have a problem with Taylor keeping it to herself about what's going on, because it's her choice to do so. I just don't want to drop something that huge in somebody's lap and then say, oh yeah, by the way, you can't tell nobody. Give me the option first, like, look, I need to confide in something. It's something major. I don't know if, and I need this kept quiet. If this is something that you could do, let me know, or find, she finds somebody else to do it. But just to say all that, and then especially because Lee is close to the family. I mean, that's her son's wife's mother. I just think that was too heavy of something to put in Lee's lap that and obviously is bothering her, because she had to talk to her son about it. So, Jay, what is your thoughts on that? And then I know Bree and I talked about it. And then you can say what you wanted to say, Bree, as well.
Yeah, I agree. Whenever you're in a situation like that, like you said, well, I personally don't like that she's keeping it a secret. Mm-hmm. Especially following where we just had a whole storyline like this where Eric did the same thing about his disease. Like, I personally feel like tell your family, tell your loved ones, give them the opportunity to embrace whatever may come, instead of it being a shock to them. Also, I feel like when you keep something a secret like that, you're limiting yourself on potential things that you can look into to save yourself as well. So, that's just on like on a personal note. I felt like that was the wrong thing to do. But then, even if you decide to go that route, like you said, don't put somebody else in the position to where they have to go around and lie and keep a secret. Give them, like you said, the way you worded it was perfect. Break it down to them like that. I have something pretty huge that I need to confide in, but I need it kept a secret. Can you handle that? Can I tell you? If not, I won't tell you. She should have did that. So I completely agree with you on that end. And then for them to do that, just to have her fall out like they did today, where are we going with it? So is all of that going to be moot and it's just going to come out anyway? So I got to give it time to see what they do with it. But right now it's just looking a little sloppy with how they're pursuing this, in my opinion, at least.
Okay. What you got? Now go ahead and say your piece, Bree.
No, and everyone's gonna have like their different views,
right?
I see why. Like I said on Wednesday, I see exactly why she did that, because she has every right to keep that to herself. And some people, especially if you're going through something terminal, like you want to keep things. It's a mental thing. You want to try to keep things as normal as possible, because it puts a lot of stress on that person who's going through that their family is worried about them. Especially when you're a parent, you don't want your kids to worry about you. Now, as far as the position that she put Lee in, I think that she went to Lee because, like most doctors keeps a lot of their patients' secrets. I know she's not. I know Taylor's not her patient, but she can at least feel like she can guarantee that information will remain private, because doctors have to have a particular type of oath on what information they're able to reveal on a daily basis and respect their patients. And I think maybe she also felt a little bit comfortable because Lee is a part of the family. She needed to tell somebody. She couldn't keep that to herself. So I do see why she did that. And that was actually the perfect person for her to do it, because she couldn't go to Red. She couldn't go to Steffy with this. She couldn't go to anybody within the Forrester family with that. So she went to someone who has a professional background, who's also going to be able to help her, refer her out to the right physicians in LA, because she's been out the country for a while. And naturally, Lee's going to want to have questions. So she addressed those questions. She was like, hey, keep this private. I want to handle this my way. And Lee respect that. And that's one thing that I'll give Lee credit for. Like, hey, she respected that. But I think she said to Finn that she's going to at least try to encourage Taylor to tell her family before it's too late. But ultimately, it's always going to be that person's choice. It's going to be that patient's choice. And you have to respect it. So I think she told the right person in this particular case. Now, the way Taylor's been handling it, and like grabbing at her neck and her chest, and like everybody's seeing that she's not acting like herself, she's not going to be able to hide it too well too long.
Yeah, we're going to get to that part. But I wanted to say one other thing to that whole situation. Her and Lee obviously are not that close. Because when she was shocked to get a call from Taylor, she got over there and she was like, hey, what did you call me here for? What's going on? So it wasn't like they had a level, it didn't seem like they had a level of comfortability with each other. And for Taylor to, and I get it that she's a physician, but to just, I don't agree with her just dropping such a huge secret on her like that. Now, granted, did she say she'll keep it quiet? But obviously she was struggling with it. She was really emotional about it because she asked Finn about whether or not, what should I do in this situation? If you knew if it was a family member that was sick, would you want to know? She's struggling with that. And for her to have to, it's different if she was like, okay, I'll just keep it a secret. She'll figure out what she want to do. But obviously it's bothering her. And when you put people in a situation like that, that's the end result. She's tugging with herself to figure out what to do. So, but, go ahead.
I was going to say, mainly because she's just close to the situation, but she's not, I feel like she's not new to this particular scenario, because she deals with patients on a daily basis, and she witnesses things that happen on a daily, consistently, probably for as long as Finn has been alive. So she's not new to it. It's just different because I think it's more so because she's thinking about how Steffi's going to react. And you made a valid point that they're not close, but they're still family. Taylor was very calculated on who she told, because she could have went to other doctors that she knew in LA, if any at all, with trying to see what's going on with her. She went to someone who was close in the family, who was at least going to be able to provide her medical history to, but she can kind of relate to some degree when it comes to this scenario. And she knows that Lee's part of the family, knows Steffy and has been there. So I feel that she was very calculated when she did that. And if something were to happen, that's the right person to explain, what's going on, and not care about taking heat about Taylor's wishes either.
Okay. Well, then that takes us to the other part where we have to switch to Katie, because Katie decides that she wants to tell her son that, we're going to have you come work for Forrester. And it looked like, according to next week previews, it pretty much is showing that he decides to work for Forrester. And I'm like, why? What's your thoughts on that, Jay?
Say that one more time.
So Katie asked Will to come and work for Forrester.
Okay, yeah, I saw that.
And then the previews for next week shows him saying that he wants to work at Forrester.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts about all that?
Yeah, I thought that was weird too, just because they went through. Even when Will was a kid, they showed Bill teaching this boy about money when he was like 5.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember? They would
Mm-hmm.
show him in the living room with Will, and they wouldn't be playing like Connect Four or anything like that. He was literally talking to him and making games about him learning and counting money. So it was always like shown to us that he would just eventually be one of the future heirs to Spencer. Now I don't know if this is a situation where, I mean, because Bill isn't really going to war with Force Creations like he used to back in the day. So I don't think this is a situation where he's there to scope out competition or anything like that. Like Bill's not even really in fashion. So I find it kind of weird. I would have thought, now they've been showing Will kind of having these mixed emotions about how Bill used to treat Katie.
Mm-hmm.
But also wanting him to get back with her, so like he's kind of like divided that way. But when it came to business, I always assumed he wanted to be a part of Spencer Publications. So this is kind of out of the blue, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they just want to kind of showcase that he just loves being with his mom so much, but that's not even how it feels, because he's going around saying he loves, this is where he wants to be, Force of Creation. So for me, it's kind of out of left field and it's kind of weird, and I don't see why he wouldn't just want to go to Spencer right off the bat.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Bree?
I agree with Angela Atkins. What is Will going to do at Forrester? And KH had it right too. Too many Logans working at Forrester Creations. What is this boy going to do? As what? Help how?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he didn't come back with this type of storyline that, you know how when RJ came back, he was talking about how he's an influencer, but he starts to be interested in drawing when the whole Eric thing started. But all we know is that Will was away at boarding school. So what is he gonna do?
Oh my goodness, I think I realized why they're even doing this. With this, what is the girl's name?
Electra.
Electro that's coming, and she's supposed to be what, Eric's grand niece?
Yeah, I think so.
She's gonna be Will's age, and that's why they're doing this. So what they missed out on, I guess, with Luna and RJ is basically just gonna be a recycled hash of that. They're doing that so Will can be in that girl's orbit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, I guess
he is a Logan. His mother is Katie Logan. He's half Logan. Same way RJ, I just saw the comment from daycare with the kids. He's part Logan. Same way RJ is also part Logan. There's a lot of nothing but Logans at Forrester Creations and no Forresters. Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're going that. Well, okay, so like Jay said, obviously with Electra being over there, that's going to put Will in proximity. But I wouldn't expected that. I kind of what Jay was saying, how when he was younger, we saw Bill showing him about how to make money and different things like that. I'm wondering how Bill is going to feel about that once he finds out that he wants to go over to the dressmaker's company.
If this was old Bill, the Bill that punched Liam back in the day, I think maybe he would be kind of mad about it. Mm-hmm. But this new kind of a little bit of zen, tranquil, peaceful Bill, I think he's gonna look at it as, okay, I'll let him go over there, almost like it's an internship type of deal, and eventually he's gonna want to come over here, and claim, his namesake the family business. So I don't think Bill's going to trip, because I think he's probably going to have the mindset that eventually Will is going to want to come over to Spencer at some point.
Yeah.
He's not going to trip because even Liam's not going to work over there. We haven't seen Spencer Publications since when? Last year?
Only thing that we've been seeing, like we saw Bill say, I gotta go take a business call, or they would be at Il Giardino talking about, hey, we closed that deal last week. So it seemed like they haven't been in the Spencer office, but they just been doing things on the fly.
Yeah, I will not. Until I see Spencer Publications, it's hard for me to believe Liam is even working. We see him eat. We see him go to everybody else's job. We have not seen this man care to talk about work. He'll talk about it for like 2 seconds, and that's sporadically.
Yeah, I think the other time, besides up there trying to figure, because when he had that conversation with Hope back in June, July, maybe August, um, he was up there for Spencer Business or whatever. So they're not giving Scott Clifton a lot of Spencer dialogue. It's inserting him in other storylines. I kind of, as much as Liam used to be very annoying to me, I'm kind of wishing that they would give Scott Clifton some type of material to work on that's separate than trying to be nosy in everybody else's business.
Well, with Ivy returning as well with Elektra, that's probably what they're gonna do, right? They're probably gonna bring
So
back up the Liam Ivy thing.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And we did get a little moment this week where Liam was talking to Bill about a deal that he had to take care of because, Bill was too busy dealing with the Poppy situation. So, I mean, they sprinkle little moments like that where we see that Liam has been working, but it's been like the work has been taking place off screen.
Right, and then they just insert the Liam character in everybody else's storyline when he used to be the focal point, when he was in the middle of Hope.
Years.
Yeah, in the middle of Hope and Steffy, and now he's an outlier.
Yeah.
So
that's why personally I don't mind that has been a little bit on the back burner a little bit, just because he's been involved in so many of the major and main storylines over the last decade. I don't mind that we're getting a bit of a break from him as far as having a major situation. But with Ivy coming back, we're perhaps going to at least get him back into some romantic stuff.
Yeah, and hopefully Steffi this time won't interrupt him. She needs to mind her own business if she's worried about somebody taking her man, but you worried about somebody talking to your ex.
Hypocritical.
Very.
Nobody worry about her man potentially being jealous about what Hope is going to be getting into.
Well, we're going to get there. I did not like the conversation between, it was cringy to me, the conversation between Taylor and Steffi, when Steffi, and it happened twice, at the house and at the office, when she was talking about how you're going to see all of the future events and you're going to be there for the kids, and she's looking at this girl, and I'm like, you need to say something. I mean, this girl is future planning with you. And so that I was like, oh gosh, then they had that conversation about Ridge, and I'm like, really, Steffi, let it go, don't get this started. She claimed she wasn't being a matchmaker, and then she also had a conversation with Hope about that. And then Taylor was like, oh, I'll always love Ridge, he's the love of my life, and I wish them all the happiness. And Steffi is looking at her like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. That was so unnecessary. Like, why did they even have this conversation? I think I didn't like that particular segment because all the things they could have talked about. They talked about their parents fighting over your mom's fighting over Rich again. I'm like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one cares to see that, but clearly that's the direction they're going to go in with this. But Steffi, most of all, she kept saying, she kind of talking on both sides of her neck. 1 minute, you're supporting your mom. She's not focused on a man, and she wants to focus on the kids, and she's not going to interfere with Rich and Brooke have going on. And then you were saying that your parents belong together.
Right.
And they'll naturally kind of come together. So, which is it? Are you going to play matchmaker like Will's about to do? Because at least he's close, to like a childlike age to where he wants his parents back together, whereas you are overly grown with kids to be worried about this.
Yeah, that's... I didn't understand that part. It's like, why is Hope and Steffi even having this conversation? I mean, Hope seemed to be unbothered because she's like, well, your dad is in love with my mother, and he's with her. Yeah, but, my dad always have love for Taylor. And I'm like, oh, stop. Just let it go. That whole scene was absolutely ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
What about you, Jay?
Yeah, I agree. It's just the same old rehash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every time we see Taylor return or get recasted, we're always hoping that she's gonna come back a stronger woman and she's gonna finally be over this triangle and this back and forth between her, Ridge, and Brooke, and then they quickly show us that no, that's not what they're gonna do. So this time around, you would really think that she would have been done with her, right? After how it went down the last time around, and here we go all over again. Like, I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
We're all tired of it, really.
I know. It now pushes us to the end of the week, which was the most interesting episode of the week, Friday, where they had JJ from, what's the name of that group? It started with a K.
What was it called?
Wasn't it like Lyric or Lyric or something like that?
Somebody will drop it in the chat. It started with the name of the entire group.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, the music, and I said this earlier, the music did not fit, to me, the theme of the actual bedroom line. It seems like a song where you just strolling through the meadow on a Sunday, or maybe at an apple orchard. It was really mellow. Whereas, and I mentioned this earlier, like I said, where fashion shows like that, when you think of like Victoria's Secret fashion show, the music is upbeat. Or if you even want to go to the soft sensual level, you get something a little bit more smooth and, I don't know. Kaleo, thank you. Kaleo. Yep. I don't know about how I felt. What did you guys think about that whole thing?
It's funny. Oh, go ahead, Bray. You go ahead.
Are you good, Jay?
You go.
I heard this song before. I just didn't know that was the band.
Yeah,
it's on TikTok.
It's I think it ranks number 6 on TikTok right now.
Ooh, goodness, but this was so depressing. And first of all, they flew this man out just to perform behind 3 TV sets, and that's it?
Mm-hmm.
For no reason. That was the whole shoot. Like, that made no sense to me. Like, they could have got like him like on a webcast or something. He did not need to fly out just to do that.
And they had Bridget bring him in too.
Yeah, and I'm like, that was once again unnecessary. They at least Danny, he had a whole crowd when he was lip syncing to the auto tune. But this was depressing. This is not sexy. This is supposed to be lingerie. But I don't understand. This made absolutely no sense to me. But
What it seems
okay,
more
bro.
like a serenade to the group versus putting music to the bedroom line. I didn't, I don't know. It was a disconnect for me.
It wasn't upbeat or exciting. Like a lot of fashion shoots, like jooch, jooch, jooch. Like something with some energy, with some
Right.
light.
Exactly.
And like I don't know, this was just so depressing to watch. I'm like, she picked this.
Yeah, so I guess. And then the other thing was bringing Bridget in. So we found out the middle of August that Ashley was going to come in and play, Bridget once again. Everybody's excited. And there was a lot of speculations going on about the fact that maybe she's coming for Hope. Maybe there's a brain tumor issue. And then Taylor came back and we found out about her condition. And they said maybe that's why Bridget. Why did they bring Bridget back? Because before, I know folks was like, well, maybe she'll be around for the Taylor thing. Well, Dr. Buckingham, Grace Buckingham, is coming to deal with Taylor's diagnosis. So was Bridget only for bringing on JJ?
Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, it was pointless to bring Bridget back.
Exactly, because everybody was excited about that.
Well, actually, I wanted to give you my opinion on the whole song and the artist, because surprisingly, I was surprised to see all of your reactions um, of not liking the song.
It's not that we don't like the song.
No, yeah, you said it. I'll take that back. You said it doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit what the whole occasion was about to me. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, now see, because what I was thinking was, I think I have a different take on it, because I had heard this song before. I think you said it and Keith said it in the chat as well. This song like actually blew up like really huge, and it's been like all over media and commercials and social media as well. But I just never knew who the artist was. So when it started playing, I'm like, wait, it's that song. But I think they're using him, and I think they're supposed to be using Danny this way too. I didn't look at it as a song that they would be using during the actual fashion shows, like when the women are when the models are walking up and down the runway. I took this as one of the songs they're going to use in the ad campaigns for the commercials. And if that's the case, it fits, because you do see these type of songs like in perfume ads and ads for like certain fashions, but not on actual like walkway shows. Those type of songs are more what you guys were saying you were looking for. But I think that if they're using him for the ad campaigns where he'll be like on the commercials and whatnot, I feel like the song really does fit for those, like, little 30-second ads, but not for runways like y'all was saying. So that was the take that I had on it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, looking at some of the comments in the chat from earlier and also from today, and as a woman who loved lingerie, that would not motivate me to buy it.
What?
What? I'm grown.
Oh my goodness! It's not sexy music.
Right.
They had better music over the years. Whenever they did their displays or their fashion shows, fashion shoots, like nothing like this. I was not okay with this. And even with commercials, they wanted to try to excite their buyers. This is like, I don't know. It's not something I would care for. It'd be something I would like change the channel so I won't have to hear that song anymore. The good song, don't get me wrong, but to sell lingerie, I don't know. That wasn't a good choice. Like if I had to choose between Danny and his song, I would go with Danny, because at least it was auto tuned. It was auto tuned and improperly remixed, but it at least had a beat and it had some energy.
I think it's all setting, Bree. I think maybe because he looks like he was wearing the male's line from Hope for the Future with his bohemian chic type of look, right? So, but I think it's all about setting. That song, because I know everybody in the chat was saying it's not sexy. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think if you put the right images with that song, because that's what ads are. It's all about catching somebody's eye. I think when you put the right images with the song, it works. Like if they were, and which I think that's why this is supposed to be for a campaign ad. Like when you see Victoria's Secret, when you see the models walking up and down, strutting their stuff, looking really great, and then you can set the song to it. I think it's kind of like that situation. You would have to imagine the Brooks bedroom line, the images, because they even mentioned that Zendaya and RJ grabbed images from the past and from now. But I don't think they even showed it. They talked about it, but they didn't show it during his performance. But I think if you put the images with the music, it works. I think it was just out of place how they did it. They just had him. It was like they had him there for a performance just to have him there, and they didn't really show how it was supposed to work with the actual line.
Sharon in the chat said that song doesn't entice her at all to put on a negligee. I mean, I agree. I'm sitting up there like, huh? If I saw a commercial, and I do know what that song is trending on social media. Obviously, it fits with certain things because TikTok allows you to take that particular clip and put it with one of your videos that you can upload. It's in the top 10 for TikTok viral songs, right? It doesn't, I'm one of millions of people, so I could be in the anomaly. But for me, I'm like, okay. Not that music with that commercial.
You know what it reminds me of? What's that artist's name? She had this song called Eyes of an Angel, and it was like that dog rescue commercial. And Eyes of an Angel. Sarah McLachlan. There we go. Mm-hmm. That's what it reminded me. That's the energy it was giving. But maybe it's just depressing. It just wasn't. It's not sexy. I'm curious to see if anyone thinks that it is sexy in the chat.
Okay, yeah, let's do that right quick before we move on to the conversation where Hope get kicked out. You guys in the chat, give me from a ranking of 1 through 10 if you think that song was appropriate for the Brooke bedroom line. Give me a 10. If you think it was totally not appropriate for that bedroom line, go to a 1. So let me see what they say. Let's see. Oh, Jenna says 0.
I agree.
Let's see what everybody else say. B&B should have had guest star Robin Thicke. I agree. Girl,
there we go.
Perfect. Oh my God, Melissa said 10.
It's terrible because his dad has a relationship with Bold, or did, I should say.
Dang, it's a lot of 0s and 1s in there. I think I only saw 1 10 and a 5.
I see 1 in the Z's. I see, yeah. Well, Gail gave it 1.5. Okay, I guess we'll take the half point too.
I see a lot. Jan gave it a 3. Yeah, I think 3 people gave above a 1. Everybody else is 1s, 0s, and I seen some negatives in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
it's just not. It's not a lingerie type of song.
Mm-hmm. Believe me, when I'm in certain stores, I'll just say that there's a certain type of music that plays in there, and it gets you feeling some kind of way when you're shopping. Am I right, Bree?
Yeah, exactly. It energizes, it motivates you. You get excited, like, yeah.
And then you like, okay, yeah, I'm wearing this, so I'm buying that, or whatever, All right.
Yeah, Alicia Combs, that's right. It didn't match. It just didn't match.
It didn't match, yeah. Okay. We had a conversation before the artist got there where Steffi put Hope on notice. And she's like, remember what I told you? Because obviously Finn came in there. So how is it that your employee works there and can't be there, but Finn can be up in there? Because he's just a fan. Now, I know Keish said that she enjoyed watching Hope get kicked out. What do y'all think about that?
I'll go. This really showed a lot of this woman's insecurities, because I can understand you already told Hope to stay away from your man. Okay. She's going to be in the building. What can you do? You also invited your husband to the whole performance. So there are going to be moments where Hope and Finn are going to be in the same room together. And if you've already made your point clear for that girl to stay away from your husband, that should be it. To go and kick her out because you were so concerned about like her even looking his direction, having conversations with him, like, you either trust your man and he's not going to go that direction, or this is really telling about how you feel about Finn too. It did not have to go to the point where you had to kick that girl out, because she's not going to have moments to do that over at Eric's house or like Audra, whatever the case is. Wherever Finn and Hope are going to be at, she kind of has to get over herself. You already made your point clear to say for her to stay away from your man. If you feel she's going to fail, let her fail, and then kick her out, and then put her to the unemployment line. Go from there. But even then, that's not going to stop anything, because they have families intertwined. But more importantly, her man made it clear he only wants her. Why is the reassurance not enough for Steffi?
Yeah, I mean, she was like, I got it, and I thought sure Brooke was gonna say something, but she didn't. I thought when Steffi kicked her out, I was like, oh, here come Brooke, but it was like Brooke didn't even notice. So, but obviously the purpose of that was to have Hope go into the design office, where there was none other than, well, first Carter did say something to her in the studio saying, hey, you okay? And at that moment I was like, oh, where are we going?
Mm-hmm.
And when she left and went upstairs, and then Carter come up in there having this conversation, and he's like, I got a proposition for you. I don't know if you're going to like this, but just hear me out. We went to a commercial, came back a little bit later. He's like, how about you model front and center the lingerie? And I'm like, okay. And then when she said, well, wait a minute, do you actually sometime picture me in lingerie? And he didn't deny it. I'm like, well, there's the new man. Jay, I know you got a lot to say.
You know what? Yeah, man. So when the show first started, because they got to the initial conversation they had was fairly quick into the episode,
Mm-hmm.
and even with that, I don't know if you saw, because I know you're busy. I got into the chat immediately, like when I saw the first scene between them, and I'm like, wait a minute, are they? Because even that very first talk they had like some vibes to it, like they was Kim testing or something. And then the second he followed her into the room, I kind of was like convinced. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, they about to do something with these two. And then obviously it was even confirmed more when he said he confirmed to her that he thinks about her in lingerie. So I was here for it. Like, I know I'm a huge Stoke fan. I know some people aren't, or some people have jumped off of that. And I still think eventually at some point they're gonna make Dope end game, but I don't see anything wrong with having these two get together for a little while and see what happens. So I'm really excited for it.
I'm kind of there too with this one. And then he said, I mean, is that a problem? And then she was like, pretty much in so many words, no. And then she looked at his chest and looked down a little bit and looked back at him. And she had a little sparkle in her eye. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm curious. And like I said in my midday chat, if Carter brings the same energy that he had with Quinn in that bedroom scene up against the wall, and of course Hope bring the same energy that she had with Thomas and put them two in the same space, it could be very interesting.
Yes, the potential for heat, like you said, it's there. It's definitely there. If he brings, like you exactly what you said, if he brings what he brought with Quinn, and if she brings what she was bringing, to the awakening, then they got some real potential heat there. Can we
Yeah.
check on Bree because Bree?
I know.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, because you girl, wait a minute, you was radio silent there for a second. I'm like, oh
Yeah, I'm
boy.
like, is she all right?
I was letting you talk, Jay. You had a lot to say. You had a lot to say. I wanted to hear what you had to say, sir. That was
Okay.
all.
Well, the floor is yours.
Oh, this woman is so undeserving. Like she no. I'm sorry. I the why do they want to throw Carter with these trash women? Why? I don't understand that. Stuff that will not go anywhere. This man said he wanted to have a family. Like, he was just in her aunt not that long ago. And now they're going to put her, this,
Isn't Lawrence Saint Victor doing the writing? He write himself
yeah,
into
so
these
he,
storylines.
he sure did. Okay, but I agree with J Money to a certain extent. If they both put that sort of energy, that could be some really fun, exciting scenes. We definitely need some romance on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But this woman does not deserve Carter, especially after she went out of her way to basically drive Thomas out the country. And she has also been making a play for Finn the way she has. And then all of a sudden, as soon as a man gives this girl a compliment and feeds her ego, her heart melts. And all of a sudden that's her new man. But if we get something new and something exciting, I'm okay with that, I guess. I'm like, poor Carter. This is the same way I felt about Nate and Audra getting together. We see how that resulted.
Yeah, but I don't know if Audra is a hope. I don't think
They
so.
both they both wanted the same. They both were not really looking for anything too serious. Well, except for, Audra is somewhat of a successful 304, whereas we've seen Hope fail at that. So as long as she doesn't bring that energy she brought Finn in that dressing room, she should be fine.
Yeah, and then there's another piece to this because he's the COO. He's second in command. So having him in her corner, maybe it's an opportunity to help her line. Which part of the spoilers that came out? When did I do that? On September 10th. Part of the spoilers that came out a couple weeks ago when I did the whole thing when they said that she has a new man coming, part of it had something to do with her line. So having him as a part of whatever this is going to turn into, and then we saw the previews for next week where they're talking about office romance. Would we do an office romance? Nah, we wouldn't do an office romance. And I'm sitting up there like, y'all done had so many people in that office. Quinn and him, Zoe and him, Paris and him, and then Hope has been with Thomas in there. Liam pops over from work when they were married. It was was like, come on now, y'all done had all kind of people in that design office.
Yeah. Like I said, it is part of soaps. It is what it is. And I agree with you, Bridget. I'm fine. I'm good. It just won't last long. Same way I knew Nate and Audra was not going to last too long. But it's just the fact that they are quick to throw a man in front of her face and not get her in a therapist's office. But the way that she's been acting has been erratic. Since like beginning of January, really. Actually, no. This was last year when she broke up her own marriage.
Did y'all see Sharon's comment?
What happened?
Jay and Bree, look at Sharon's comment.
Oh my gosh. And yes, he will, and she's undeserving of it.
You don't see it, Jay?
No.
It's right up under Angela Atkins.
Let me go to it.
You gotta scroll up just a little bit.
Yeah. But if we get some hot scenes, if we get some hot, spicy scenes, I'll change my thoughts. I was just hoping it would be Carter and Steffy at some point, not Carter and Hope. But
who you said it? I'm sorry, who you said it?
Sharon. You want me to tell you what she said?
Yeah.
She said Carter would definitely have Hope coming. I knew you was gonna start laughing at that.
You know what's so funny? Because you had just said the teaser where it said something about Hope's new man is coming or something like that, and I was thinking the same thing that she said.
Also, you got to tell them what you said about them shipping.
Yes. Yes, I was gonna get to that. So, chat. T did tell this to y'all earlier on the earlier live. But as we was in the chat, I was already thinking of names because after I saw that first scene, I kind of saw where they was going with this. And I was thinking, what would be ship names for Hope and Carter? And like a lot of y'all in the chat and a lot of people I've seen on social media, a lot of y'all don't want to see it, like Bree. She's the queen of not wanting to see it right now. But I was like, so what would be perfect? So I came up with two of them. The first one is Cope. Because all of these haters that don't want to see Carter and Hope getting together, y'all going to have to cope with it. So we got hashtag Cope. And then I was thinking of another one because I was thinking, like T said, if he brings the Quinn energy and if she brings the Thope Awakening energy, these two can have some really hot scenes together. And I was thinking, imagine them getting it on. Hope whispers into Carter's ear, and she says, Carter. Carter. Their names combined. And it sounds like what y'all thought I said, and it works perfectly. It's a double entendre. So, hashtag Cope and hashtag Harter for the two ship names. What do y'all think? Let us know in the chat.
Yeah, I did do a poll earlier. A lot of people did like the harder one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got them cracking up.
Hope gonna be doing a poll too, P. Hope gonna be doing a poll too.
Who?
Oh my.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Stop it, Joe.
I'm okay with Harter. Only because Cope just sounds like a mental illness, mental disease. That just doesn't sound sexy. But I like I said, I just need to see some scenes. Same way I just say the same thing about Thomas and Paris. As long as I see some love scenes, some romance, I have no problem getting on board. I just feel that she's undeserving of it, to be honest. But I'm just curious to see if she has hotter scenes with Carter, or would it outdo Soap?
Well, wait,
you guys think?
Wait, Bree. Okay, so no shade to Matt, right? Matt is a very attractive guy, right?
Uh-huh.
Carter got abs for days, and he's tall, and I mean, I'm just saying. Man, take that shirt off. Oh, sorry.
Belinda Hill said Hope will be saying harder, harder, harder.
My
Oh.
And
God.
you know what? I'm seeing y'all ladies in the chat. A lot of y'all are saying harder. Y'all showing exactly what type of ladies y'all are, and I am not mad at any one of y'all. So
My God.
Oh
Oh
my
my
goodness.
goodness.
Do
This
you
is,
think he would give her more of an awakening than Thomas?
I
girl, it is
mean,
definitely potential.
wait
Like,
a minute. I
come
got a
on now.
question. Have we seen Thomas pick Hope up and put up against the wall?
No, we have not.
We have seen Carter pick up Quinn and put her up against that wall.
And he put her up against that wall with some, with some good force, with some strength. Yeah.
He did that with ease and everything.
Yeah.
I watched that
No,
scene.
nothing to him.
Yeah, but Thomas picked Hope. Well, the first time they got it in, he picked her up and he put her on the bed. I do remember that. But up against the wall, the way they Carter did Quinn.
And Thomas actually can do it because Matt has, like, on his IG where he's lifted like 400 pounds at the gym. So, like, he definitely can do it.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen what Thomas can do. Her and Thomas can do. I'm just gonna. I because I have to see it. Like, is she gonna do a different type of awakening?
It's different, though, Bree. I was just about to say that. It's different.
You know that's
once
man.
she
Come on.
goes, I'm not gonna finish it, but y'all know what I'm saying.
Be
Once she
quiet,
goes,
Jay.
she might not come back.
I mean, her auntie did.
True. Auntie something else.
All I know is that I'm kind of curious to see what they can bring with this. And Bold, you got to let him go. Don't give us no mechanical scenes like we saw this week with Steffi and Finn, where it looked like they were scared to touch each other. When we've seen great scenes with those two in the past, 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, that would be the biggest downfall for me. If we don't actually get any full-on love scenes, that would upset me. Like we did when we got soap last year, they better bring it times 1,000 if they're going to really go with this. But if we get a scene where they're kissing and then the next scene they're finished, that's the end of soaps. It really is, because we like the love scenes, the excitement, the thrill, like the way that everyone's talking in the chat. Like, everyone's excited to see what happens with this because we need some romance amongst all this medical nonsense.
Yeah, it's overwhelmingly positive in the chat. We've got, the few sprinkled in that don't want to see it, but it's a lot of harders in the chat, and it's a lot of people that say they want to see.
Sharon said we need some Cinemax up in here.
Okay, I know that's right. We need
some 1995 Cinemax, because I don't think it's like that no more. But they used to have what was something after Cinemax After Dark or something.
Like what Krista Allen was doing?
Yes.
Emmanuel. See, you mentioned Finn and Steffi looking mechanic, and I like Finn and I like Tanner, but he's so awkward, right? Like, even today, did y'all see him singing? Did y'all see him, like, try to bop his head and sing along to the song, and it was just like the rhythm was slightly off, and I'm like, this man.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. I don't know that they, like I said, please don't tease us with some, surface level with these two. We know what these two are capable of. And we definitely know what Annika is capable of on this show and in the movie. So let's let them go for what they know within boundaries. So
I want to see some teasing, but I want it to be some good teasing with
Well, I mean,
good teasing.
Jay,
I know
when
what
he said, "I've been thinking about what you look like in a lingerie," that was a line right there. I was like, oh.
Yep.
Okay.
And then when he says, and then right after that, he says too much. And then she says, I didn't say that. I was
Yeah,
like,
I
okay.
know. I know. Look at that. Bree is quiet. Oh, Bree.
I'm
Poor little. Listen,
listening.
poor
Girl,
little
I'm
Tink
drinking
Tink.
tea right now, man.
I said, Bree, poor little Tink Tink.
Oh no, I'm good, y'all. I just don't want to be disappointed because even with like the Nate and Audra thing, I'm like, okay, as long as I get some good love scenes, then I'll be all for it. We didn't even get that. We got them kissing, we got them on the bed, and then the next scene they were finished. Or sometimes the next day they were talking about it. And that's just the direction that soap has just been going this year for 2024.
Can we get some hearts in the chat for Bree? Because I just realized with Audra taking her Nate, and now with Hope taking her Carter, my girl has been, been down bad, losing her men. Can we all put some hearts in the chat for Bree, y'all? Throw some hearts up in the chat.
Oh
My
my
goodness.
God.
Well, first of all, Jay, Audra doesn't even want that man like that. And she let him know. And two, as cuckoo crazy as Hope is, we don't even know how long she's going to have Carter. So, but either which way, I'm all for this good drama, good soaps, good romance, something hot and spicy, nothing medical all the time. So I'm all for it. I just feel like she's just undeserving of a Carter. But
Oh, look at all the
Look at the
hearts you're
chat
getting,
coming
girl.
through with the hearts. And Allison Klein said, "Justice for Bree." Hashtag justice for Bree.
oh my God,
Y'all
y'all are
crazy.
just.
By the way, how many people in the chat, Bree? Can you see?
We got 140.
Okay.
Y'all are crazy. Oh my goodness.
That's fun though. That is hilarious. We got one other subject to talk about before we go to the rest of the segments. The fact
Mm-hmm.
that Steffi told Taylor, I don't know if you should be here. Maybe you shouldn't watch. But no, she want to torture herself. And then she go downstairs, peeping around that corner, watching Brooke and Ridge canoodle. Of course, the girl get all in her feelings and she collapse. And Ridge is there to wonder what the French toast is going on. What do y'all think about that whole thing?
Once again, she's not going to be able to hold this together too well because, especially when it's your heart, like girl, like you're at the point now. If you're passing out and running out of breath, you might as well say something at this point. But much to Steffi's point, if seeing Brooke and Ridge together is going to be upsetting for you, and you know you have a heart condition, leave. You have enough common sense to leave.
Right.
But they're making, and like Keisha saying, they're making her condition about Brooke and Ridge. I don't like that.
What is interesting though, and then Jay, I'm gonna let you go, is that next week there's a spoiler. Of course, like I said, Dr. Grace Buckingham is going to give her a diagnosis. However, she's going to be skeptical about what she hears. So I'm wondering if Grace tells her, oh, you know what? Yes, you have this condition. And like a lot of the people across social media has said about this particular condition, that people can live years with it with treatment and medication. Maybe Grace tells her, you know what, this is treatable. You can do this and live many years of your life and stuff. Why are you skeptical about her diagnosis? That's going to be interesting next week. Because I'm like, do you not want to believe her? What are you so skeptical about what she finds out? So I just wanted to throw that out there. Jay, what did you have about what happened with the collapse?
Yeah, watching that whole thing go down, I did not like that at all. Like they showed her facial reactions. I felt like it just seemed so odd, right? Like, first of all, until you brought this up earlier on the midday show, why was she? I don't know if you. I don't know if she just did. She like follow them there, or did she just so happen to be there when they were in that room? But why are you watching them?
Right.
Number one, and then like Bree, and Key said, I don't like that it's getting her so worked up because it's not like you're new to this.
Right.
Like you've already broken up with him. Like y'all went through the breakup the last time around. Y'all haven't been romantically involved. What in this past year? So for you to get so worked up because they're simply talking to each other and what was kind of like flirty bantering, talking about how they were going to get together later on. Why is that getting you so worked up? He's not yours, and it was already over. Like I just didn't like it, and then like the eyes getting big and her holding her chest like Red Fox on when he said, I'm coming to get you. Like no, like it was just weird, and I didn't like it. And having her health be so connected to the situation, it looks like it's going to be the same predictable storyline that a lot of people were predicting might happen, where he's going to go with her out of like pity or thinking she's gonna pass away, so he's gonna give her what she needs or wants, and so I just didn't like it. What did you think about it, T?
Um. Yeah, I wouldn't. She shouldn't have been there. She should have left. And this ain't the first time, like you said, this is nothing new for her. She was in Europe when they were standing in that beautiful background. She heard Ridge tell Brooke that she was the love of his life. You didn't feel nothing then except the fact you need to come home. But then you watched them having a conversation down there, and now it's all of a sudden it's heartbreaking.
Yeah. It's, I don't understand why she even made the effort to go all the way to Los Angeles. Like, if it was going to be that big of a deal for you to see them, because they're going to everywhere you go, family events, forced creations, you're going to see Ridge and Brooke.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to change. You knew this out the gate, but why did you choose to watch the video? And why didn't you go out the building? Why did you go to another part of Forced Creations? Especially, you just saw a scene, you know where they were at.
Right.
That didn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I didn't. I was like, girl, why are you there? And I mean, Steffi tried to warn her. Do you really want to be here? I don't know if you want to see Brooke and Dad, oogling her and things like that. No, I'm fine. I'm a big girl. I can handle it. Yeah, okay. Then she went right downstairs, saw them, and collapsed. So.
Okay, I see what you're saying, Jenna. Jenna said he made promises and he broke them, and I think that she can't forgive herself for letting him hurt her again. I think that her heart is broken and she's broken heart syndrome. Okay. I can kind of see that. She says a real condition of the heart, people do or pass away from it.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. But once again, she made coming back
a choice
about her kids.
Mm-hmm.
And every chance she sees Brooke and Ridge, she pulling at her heart. So are you trying to come back to spend time with your kids because of your condition, or were you more concerned about Ridge and what he has going on? Like that, just like, what is she doing at this point?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to play this out and what Dr. Buckingham has to say. What is she so skeptical about? Maybe it's not what she thinks, and then she just don't trust what the doctor's telling her. I don't know, but I hope they don't bring her back just to use this condition as a way to reunite them, and then she end up fine, stuck with him through a marriage or in a relationship out of pity, and then when all the dust settle, he come crawling right back over the brook.
Something tells me that's exactly how it's going to go. I mean, you know the writing, but just as well as most of the people, because we've been seeing it for 30-something years with these people.
Yep. So
if Grace is coming back and saying that, oh, she doesn't have a problem, she's okay, I'll be really upset if Taylor uses that to try to get Ridge.
Especially if he's there, he found her. especially if he's there giving her sympathy, staying up at the hospital, catering to her, all of those types of things.
Yeah.
Yep. So, all right, we're going to hit our other segments. Our flip the script segment and who's taking several seats. So, our flip the script segment is if there's a particular scene or a storyline that we wish we could change. This is where we flip the script. So, what you flipping on Y&R?
James, you want to go?
Yeah, I would have had Adam punch Billy a few more times.
Oh, dang.
Just, just because that was so enjoyable to see, and I wasn't ready for it to end after that one punch.
Gotcha. What about you, Bree?
Actually, I would have loved if Faith kept Adam out of it. Anything going on with Sharon, I wish that she had just let that man keep walking and keep moving and kept that to herself. Because otherwise, this man's about to get involved in all of Sharon's mess, and it's so unnecessary, but it's what it is.
Yep, I agree. My flip, once again, would have had Heather let Sharon walk at that house.
Mm-hmm.
Let her go. Stop trying to argue with somebody that's clearly unhinged, thinking that you can control the situation. And we all know what happened, but I honestly think she should have let Sharon leave because Sharon tried to leave twice.
Yep.
Bold.
I would flip the last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday's episodes with something entertaining.
Yeah, that's a good one. Definitely, because it was slow up until today.
Yeah.
What you got, Jay?
I'll kind of touch on the same basis that I would flip most of the week, like Bree said, but she probably won't agree with the second half. I would have given us more Carter and Hope.
Yeah,
I would have loved
I
more
agree
of
with that. Yeah, I agree with that. They could have gave us just a little bit more, but hey, hopefully we get some more next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that I don't know if JJ got other music that he could have used, but I just not that song with that campaign. Just me. I mean, it's not a bad song. It's trending all over social media. I just don't. It's disconnected for me on that one. So I would have had him do something else. All right, who's taking seats on The Young and the Restless?
Cameron Kirsten.
What?
And his shirt.
Wait a minute. Part of Sharon's brain?
The ghost
Yeah.
of Cameron Kirsten?
The brain can take a seat. All but Cameron Kirsten, I'm so tired of seeing this shirt. I am. I understand it's good acting. I get it, but he can take a seat, and Sharon's family can also take a seat because they are not worth anything to her. Mm-hmm. They really not. No help, no nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Victoria and Heather take a seat. Maybe Heather should have sat down while Sharon walked out that door and not sit down at the bottom of that lake.
Mm-hmm. Victoria is my seat as well. Her coming over there and completely blaming Billy when he's not even thinking about Victor. He's worrying about the business and his company. That was she went way over the line to me doing that.
Okay. All right. Bold.
I would say Steffy.
Me too.
Okay.
Because I understand her standing her ground, telling this girl to leave her man alone, but I feel like today kind of borderline on bullying, like it was a little bit much. And then it just really made her look insecure when Steffy isn't supposed to be portrayed like that. So, I would say Steffy should take a seat today.
I'm going to say that Taylor should have took a seat at home. You didn't need to be there for that. Come up there, give Steffi kudos. Y'all have a great time at the launch. And when Steffi said, "Hey, I think maybe you shouldn't be here," yeah, go and find something else to do instead of feeling some kind of way of that video, and then coming downstairs watching them around that corner. Especially if you have a condition of some sort that could trigger it. It's like, I don't know, being allergic to something and you stand next to the allergen just because you just couldn't help yourself. You're going to get triggered. So, yeah, I don't think she should have been there. All right. Star of the week, Young and the Restless. This probably is unanimous here, but Sharon Case.
Sharon Case.
Yep.
Sharon
Case got this one. Hopefully she get an Emmy for this. Yay.
Oh, it's no doubt. Without question.
Yeah. And then
Star. I was going to say, if she doesn't get an Emmy nomination, that is insane.
Yep. I agree. Star of the week, Bold.
This one was kind of a tough one. Bree, do you have yours already?
I'm struggling.
I'm gonna give it to Carter in his tight shirt.
Okay, there we go. Carter looking fine. There we go. Boom.
I mean, that sweater was fitting. What'd you say, Jay?
I'm gonna give it to Cope, aka Harder. I'll give it to their scenes this week, to both of them.
Yeah, that sweater was perfectly laying on him. So
good color and everything. I know. I'm looking at the end of the bottom right corner. I was like, you look really good today's episode. That's the only star I can think of, y'all.
Yeah, I can't. The rest is no, because it was a slow week. Some people, like the one said Ashley Jones. We haven't seen her in a while, so it was nice to have her back. Even if it's just for a day. I don't know. We'll see if she'll be here next week.
Well, it felt like it was just for a scene, let alone a day.
Pickle of the week, Young and the Restless.
Victoria.
Okay, I agree with that.
Just the level of entitlement and just disrespect to the father of your children.
Yeah.
I'll give mine to Heather for not getting that woman out of her house and then making the appropriate calls.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. All right, who's your pickle on Bold? To me, Steffi. I mean, granted, yeah, kick Hope out, but I'm like, girl, you really pressed about this. And I get it, because I know what happened, but I think, like Bree said earlier, Finn has tried to tell you several thousand times that he ain't interested in that girl.
Yeah, mine would also be Steffi. It's very insecure and petty, and it shows the lack of trust she actually has for her husband, because you should be reassured, especially if this man saved you not once but twice. And he keeps telling you every chance he gets he's only for you and about you. You still worried about a Hope?
Right.
Come on now.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm going to two pickles. Steffi, for all the reasons y'all just mentioned, and then also Taylor for putting Glee in that situation, and for not coming forward with her family about this. Because I was thinking, as we were saying it before, I know y'all said y'all understood why she did it, but then it also made me think, your kids thought they lost you once before when they was younger. So I don't think, keeping this a secret from them now and them actually potentially losing time with you even more is the right move. So I'm going to give my pickles to Steffi and her mother.
Yeah.
I can see that. Okay.
Yeah, so, wow. Hopefully we had Young and the Restless blow up the spot on Thursday this week, and Bold blew up the spot on Friday this week. But the other 4 episodes was, well, I'll say 3 days on Young and the Restless, because we got to give the 30 years for Sharon today. But Bold, Monday through Thursday was like, it was a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
The blur.
I know, right? All right. Before we go, I have to let you guys know because I know a lot of you have been asking about Trish. Just so you guys know, and I did talk to her. She did let me know her husband passed away last Tuesday. So she is currently, of course, dealing with, everything that's going on with her family situation, and, she's going through a grieving process. She will let me know when she's able to, you know, come back to the podcast. So she's going to be taking just a little bit of time, of course, to take care of that. And of course, this is a lot for her to deal with. So we're definitely sending her prayers and condolences, because her and her husband was married for over 3 decades. And so this is like she said, it was a surreal situation for her to go through. So she gave me the permission to let you guys in on the information. I did find out last Friday, but it was so fresh. So I wanted to you know get the clearance from her to let you guys know what the situation is, because I know you guys have been asking about her. So we'll just keep her in our prayers, send her warm and well wishes, and she's going to keep me posted, how everything goes with everything, and when she'll be back, if she'll be back anytime soon. So we'll see. All right. And as we know with Keish, she is shipping out this weekend. She will be gone for 6 months. So she's on deployment, for those who know. And she should be back, I think, April, right, Bree, she said?
Like March, April, something like that.
Yeah. So she'll still be trying to touch bases with us, to talk about the soaps and stuff like that. But she'll be out there serving her country. So kudos and well wishes to her as she, get out there on her deployment. Yep. So I wanted to put that out there. I wanted her to give me the green light when she said it was ready and she was okay with me, meaning Trish, to bring this to you guys' attention, because she knows the Soapies care about her and she care about you guys too. All right. Okay, that's all we got. And yeah, stay tuned for the spoilers for this week. The week of September 30th to October 4th. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty soon. We got Halloween, which I don't do Halloween like that, but then Thanksgiving and Christmas and then New Year's all over again. Look like we just got into this year and we only got, 3 months now? 2.5, 3 months to go?
It's a whole blur.
I know, right? Crazy, 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 crazy. All right, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the notifications so you're notified every time a video is posted. I am T.
I am Bree.
And I am Jay.
And we will see you all next time. Bye, Soapies.
Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.